Good evening. Welcome back to ETF2L. It's the summer 2023 season. It is the third week, and we're going to be looking at the wonderful matchup between MANDEM and Brah tonight. I am Cerny, joined by Beater on the camera and unnamed jail inmate intern on the microphone. Hi, how's it going?
Pretty good. Well, given discussions pre-stream and given what we know about Beater's tax situation, there might only be one non-convicted criminal in it. Mumble channel tonight. We'll see about that.
I've gotten a
about
speeding
his
ticket
future
before.
mails. We'll see. For what it's worth, though, we have maybe a fun one tonight. Didn't see much of MANDEM so far, and we certainly didn't see them last week, where they just had a quick beating up against Wheelchair, who was on the receiving end. This time around might be a little bit different. Brah has not been really winning all too much, but they already had close games, the ones they had so far, so maybe they can put up more of a fight than our teams were able to.
That is certainly possible, but we are looking at a MANDEM who surprised everybody in the first week by taking 6 points. They took 6 points away from Witness, which no small feat, given the fact that this is the first team that has managed to do that in 4 seasons. So perhaps it spells something.
The non-specific, I will not name names here, but there was, let's say, witness burner accounts on the hunt immediately after the game, or listing the reasons as to why this will never happen again, ranging from Papi was on laptop to didn't care Lamar to what was the last one? Oh yeah, didn't scrim XD. So truly, who knows if this will be anything to show for the rest of the season.
If you can make up coping reasons, you can also well, that means that they run out of actual reasons as to why they lost, because this is a strong-ass roster. Picking up the pieces of, partially what was CSG, right, last season, and then partially some other people joining them along the sides as well. This is a team stock full of talent.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of them are still vaguely pretty new, right? Fancy and Horns are only a couple seasons in Premiership as well, and so out and about having top spots under his wings already as well, but has struggled beating the last two Titans, Witness and TF2 Easy for that matter, in the past. So MANDEM now with the fresh TF2K's sponsorship as well under the wings here, looking to hopefully not replicate the fate TLR is currently going through, which is the big sponsor curse, where you pick up a cool name next to your name and suddenly the results are not quite looking so good anymore.
Yeah, we'll have to see how well they can do against Brah, who are on the other side here. They had an okay showing so far. They had to go through the qualifiers to get into Prem. They were one of the teams, as far as I remember. They did have to struggle through that, but it's also a team full of, well, partially familiar names in the Prem circles. You got Olga coming back. You got names like Scarfish Cup. They've been around for a while, and then you go around now with Kuna and Gel as well on the roster. They've shown that they are capable. They are capable players. Will they be able to hold a candle to the sheer talent on MANDEM? That's a completely different story that we'll have to see how it evolves. It's going to be a live event that we'll have to witness. But for the time being, I feel like if they come in swinging, if they actually are exceedingly well warmed up, they could actually stand a chance here, I feel.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how they would perform up against. Certainly, I think all eyes are on MANDEM to keep up the stroll of the season they've been having so far, for sure. I think it really will take until probably the Forfence game, where they really will be put to the test again, which I think is at the end of the season as well, who have been also performing pretty well so far. Their match, in fact, will also not be happening tonight. It was supposed to, but as it turns out, they actually never agreed to that date on either side of that matchup against Garda, so that will be happening at an unconfirmed future date.
For all we know, there's a chance it may happen before the end of the season, but who knows? You know how Prem players be.
Maybe they don't need those points.
Yeah, maybe they don't. They don't care. They don't care enough. They already, they're making playoffs anyway. It's possible. But yeah, our first map is going to be Granary for the night.
Big fan.
An interesting pick, because it doesn't look like anybody else wants to be playing it. So I don't know who picked it. We didn't get who picked what.
I think our other game tonight is also on that map, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
There's still as a wise man once said, whose name is Demo, I'm pretty sure, only bad players don't like this map, and I agree, because I'm very smart. I like this map quite a lot. It's has a little bit of everything. You can do funny jumps. It's a surprisingly good demo map, despite everyone always talking about soldiers, I think. And yeah, I think the only annoying point is last, and I mean, what last point isn't the annoying part of the map, I suppose? So what difference does it make?
It's always a question of how well can you hold it, how easy is it to push out of, and all that stuff. Granary, notorious for being a little bit harder to push out of. It's more on the lines of, like, say, Snakewater, right, where it's kind of easy to maybe stall out on the last point. Obviously not as extreme as Snake, but still it does happen from time to time.
It's just all these last points where you just have like 2 or 3 doors on the same like elevation, like next to each other.
Yeah,
like one straight line.
It can get a bit stalematy with that. But I suppose we'll have to see how well the teams are at how well they do it, actually holding last or pushing out of last and stuff like that. I have not seen MANDEM play at all, so I can't possibly judge how well they would adjust to playing Granary. I'm assuming it's the first time they're playing it all season, because I think it's the first time it is in the map rotation for the season in this week. So
we'll see.
Yeah,
I was contemplating watching them last week, and then I just looked at the map 1 results, and I figured, yeah, no, I'm good. I guess I expected them to win that game, but the extent of which was, I guess, not too unsurprising in hindsight, I guess, but still very severe, and Brah needs to watch out now that they don't fall a similar fate. Ooh, here's the actual work kick. Okay, I did double check, and this did happen against Witness as well. It was the closer one of the 2 maps, but that was the one where Witness almost came back still. But who knows if Brah is any good on this? We'll see now as we go live. Brah on the blue, MANDEM by TF2cases.com on the red, trying to live up to sponsor expectations now as well.
Yeah, and try to live up to that MANDEM name. It's been around for a while in the TF2 scene, in the Div 1 scene, and all that stuff. So let's see if that team name first time showing up in Prem is actually going to be anything worthwhile here as the first mid-fight goes underway. And, well, both teams are kind of just staring each other down. There's a big bomb out of the MANDEM soldiers. They don't really find anything with it, though. They're actually just going to be forced back as the counter-aggression comes out of the Virtus soldiers, and they're hitting exactly what they want. They find a frag onto Fancy. They find Boulder Inzo as well. It's only Kane and Pickles left for that matter, and they already hightailing it out of there as Virtus are coming out swinging with a nice first mid-fight here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very talented roster for sure. I mean, if you just go by general experience in Premiership, obviously they have the upper hand on that one, I suppose, but it all needs to fit together on the roster here right now for Virtus. Brah, MANDEM has maybe had the one from season under the wings with, as we know, Fancy and Horns, I think was it at the time still. I think that was like a 5th or 6th place finish. It wasn't bad. They made it close fight for most people here, but see, Virtus Brah's experience will matter here right now, where Witnesses couldn't. Looks like it will go as far as we expected to, on to last for the time being, not any further just now, but this is where you need to just show how good you are at the game. This is the hard part. This is what you need to grind out a lot over the course of many matches.
Yeah, you gotta find your way to crack this last hold. Unfortunately, losing Kuno just by trying to prod a little bit and then Fishcup going for a sack, not managing to find anything either, is going to immediately shut down any last push attempts. Now they gotta try to not lose second on the side of Virtus. They're actually gonna go for the exchange. Olga's just gonna try to take that Uber in by himself. It's obviously gonna be a better pop for Pickles, as he was in no danger for the longest time. That Uber's gonna fade a bit later, but they're not gonna find anything. It's gonna come down to the post-Uber fight, and in terms of positioning, it's gonna be just good enough for MANDEM to actually claim the second point back to their own side before having to, well, now fight their way out of these shuttered doors, out of these lobbies, and Virtus are not gonna have that happen for free, that's for sure. They're gonna try to make their way in here again as well. With the Ubers equal, no team really willing to back off, obviously. They're just gonna keep up the pressure.
Yeah, still standing the ground here for the time being, so they'll have the upper hand at the moment as well. It looks like they want to make immediate moves with this as well, just rushing something through the lunchbox area on the left from their perspective. No one's going deep from there just yet, though. Just threatening if there's anyone out of position they can make a run for it. Looks like no one's really out of position enough just yet for that to happen, so back around to close. Didn't like their chances there. On 2-shotter though again, don't hit that demo man unattended alone there for all too long. But again, time limit matters here on these Dynamates. This is the kind of map where we saw the old time limits be put to the test, so the new ones that we have recently certainly will rush people's decisions here sooner or later.
Absolutely, you gotta start making something happen. I guess if you are on the side of MANDEM, you'd be more okay with going for the round reset. You get an extra point for free, effectively, back to bit straight away, but that's not gonna happen for the time being as they're exchanging the Ubers across the point. Obviously, nobody died. Everybody just gets flashed and caught in that Uber. It's finally gonna be Scar, the first to fall, in that little post-Uber, and Balder might claim another one here. He does it with help of Inzo. Fishcup gets taken care of as well. High, trying to fight 4 people at once. That's gonna be a tough one, buddy. But they do find Fancy at the very tail end. Kuna does manage to sneak him out with a little sticky trap before eventually dying himself if he's not careful here. He does get out, but only just about. So still a lot of pressure out of MANDEM. They do have the players to do that, but they did lose Fancy, which is going to slow down their push ever so slightly as Hans just gets juggled into the air and manages to create her Scar. Does claim that kill at the tail end, and Fishcup is in for another bomb to clean up some more damage here as Inzo gets taken down and everybody else is kind of pressured back. There goes Boulder as well. Alright, they've stabilized on the side of Virtus. Those respawners coming in first really sold the deal for them here as KN desperately tries to live and also has to pay with a late death.
Yeah, it works out quite nicely here. Just sketchy position post over for the flank down, just Brah on second, but all the way back to mid, and suddenly the position is working out brilliantly for them at the end of the fight. Just force really awkward fight onto MANDEM. They can't really take a hand to them here just yet. However, heavy on last, on high ground as well, makes the rest of this really awkward. They do get Uber now, but no one's really able to do much of any with this right now, and it's not looking good. Gel dies here. It's the new face to the Premiership scene on their part, not able to stand much of a chance here. We do have the Spy, but surely someone will keep the eyes open on us.
You did expect this. If you're a MANDEM here, you will expect some sort of cheeky backcap plays or something like that.
Where are they?
Oh no, nobody stood behind that. This is a disaster in the making. If Scar actually gets on the point, he's taking so long.
Boulder's blind! No!
Oh no, he gets him. Okay, he gets him. Bagels actually claims the kill on that one, but that was extremely close. They cut it way closer than they had to. They got away with it. They get away with a little scare, and MANDEM are back in control. They also have a big Uber ad now to take into mid, but that could have gone down south very quickly.
That could have gone even worse, just even without the backup working, just by a matter of like barely missing a kill on the point on second as well. MANDEM was on the move, of course, as well, and there was a lot of weak plays on the card. They just had a little bit more damage at the ready on Virtus Brah. Would have been very different stories, but MANDEM gets the better end for now, gets away with scare, nothing else, and maybe that's just what they need to get some lot of momentum all the way through mid forward from here. Fancy goes down early down. He wasn't here yet as well. Can unsupported with the sack to make space, but can't get anything with the team just starting to take too much damage on entry themselves here. They do make space for who? No one's coming in the end. Fancy goes down and back around it goes again.
Yeah, Scar just nuking down the demo, making sure that nobody on the side of MANDEM will actually ever get through anywhere. As the Ubers are exchanging choke now, it's a bit better for MANDEM. Piggles having to flashless, but also gets disconnected from his team. He's gonna have a rough time really trying to escape here. He is an escape artist at the end of the day. He tries his best, but can't quite succeed. It gets cleaned up, and it looks like a fight falling in favor of Virtus ever so slightly. They have bad positions, but they also only have one soldier to deal with, and Olga is going to make sure that that is shut down as best as he possibly can. Even if KN escapes, he's not going to do anything for the time being, and Kuna is actually going to try to even cut off the reinforcements here. Very aggressive play out of him. KN might try to punish that. Ooh, just barely does not get the
there's so many more.
So much aggression, he just gets taken down. Kuna run into the floor. They managed to cap the point, but that's all they can settle for. They have to hightail out of there. Nobody there to even try and back them up on the side of Virtus. They're back to second once more.
Yeah, Hubris once again, the biggest downfall of man. Kuna wants just a little bit too much out of that play, and in the end gets himself into a really bad position. As it stands, makes the play that they have into mid still doable, but a little bit harder now. It would have been kind of very easy otherwise. As it stands, into forward, the bomb comes through as well, so they will have to use here. Pickles close to having. And now it's the awkward moment, right? You have two down, but you also have big advantage. Are you gonna play this quick? Are you gonna wait here and let them just endlessly build advantage themselves for your potential next Uber coming in here? And by the time you use yours, maybe they have Uber again right after. This is the position that just trades like midpoint so easily, right? Just one team uses it and the other leaves, and then it just goes back around and back around. You really got to find something to not have that happen if you're MANDEM right now coming into the midpoint.
This Uber for MANDEM has to be extremely good. They have to basically kill Gel, otherwise it's gonna be just an endless tug of war.
Scouts just on sack, and Fancy doesn't stand a chance here. The Scouts fall back too late to help him out. I get that killed quite nicely. That's something.
That's certainly gonna stunt MANDEM. They can't even really commit all that much. They're slowly making their way into mid, but with Virtus just giving it up for free, knowing full well that they're gonna have Uber ready to try and contest this again, and they have the demo that crucially does not exist on the side of MANDEM. They're just gonna send it in as deep as they can, see if they can catch anybody. Kuna might just be caught himself if he's not careful. He's not particularly high on health. He's getting body blocked as well, manages to just narrowly escape as kills are finally falling. Inzel's gonna be the first to fall here. And that's it for the time being. Boulder picks up the kill onto Olga. There goes Fishcup as well. Hans turned out on the other side. It's still an endless back and forth, even numbers, but Scar falls, and they're finally making frags. Never mind High. He's just crazy. He just hits everything. That's all he needs to do.
No,
but there goes Daryl.
Can't shoot everyone at once.
He leaves Gel alone for a split second, chasing the kill onto Fancy, and that costs the medic's life, but still. What a fight. High saving that one for his team.
The artist phoning it on the nut was still nuts with it as well. That was very clutch, but also unnecessarily close as well. There was a moment where everyone was like hiding behind the red crate on MANDEM, just waiting for arrows, and they had the time for it. Because they decided to send Scar deep for the med kill instead of just cleaning up 2 kills with 1 rocket instantly. Would have won them the fight 100% of the time. They just didn't realize where the damage was. Damage cost just barely lacking a little bit here. Once again, just the flanks going so deep on Virtus Brah for what feels like no reason. They're trying to set up this huge play, but the combo just can't stay in the second the first one dies. So now, once again, Kuno stays in 2-4-4 late. The same mistakes happening over and over on the side of the blue squad. Just dreaming a little bit too big, and I feel like if they play a little bit closer to the ground, maybe this would be already a lead for them here, but MANDEM's too good to let these mistakes go unpunished as close as it is. Maybe they're keeping this.
Yeah, Kuna playing this game like he really just wants to have 5% heals at the end of the match. He's so far disconnected from the combo every single time. Oh, Hans!
He gets it. CS7 on the move.
Gets that force. Beautifully done. Olga trying to make something happen with it. Fancy feeling a lot of pressure right now, but Olga's not quite hitting the shots he wants to. Maybe finally Fancy can get cleaned up, but no! They're just gonna chase back Olga. He's not gonna be able to get that kill that he so desperately wanted, at least to have out of that Uber. Obviously, it's gonna be so much better for MANDEM now. Pickles has a full Uber ready. Everybody poised to push in garage. Somehow they're letting Olga escape. Okay, Inzo finds that one finally. I was gonna say, there's no way Olga just gets out of this for free. He will eventually get cleaned up, and I mean, MANDEM are in a prime position right now. They can take it all the way to last if they so desire. They've capitalized off the mistakes so well. They need to just keep that rolling right now. Finally put a round on the board.
It's been a tough one too, because Virtus Brah, I mean, they only make these mistakes since they weren't positioned where they could even try something, so they've been just ahead a lot of the time right now. Maybe they will stay winning, actually, sniped by Olga. That man played like 7 different classes in Premiership at this point, and all of them to really solid success, I will say. This sniper being no exception.
Olga is really the definition of a jack of all trades, huh? Whips out the clutch sniper, just suddenly hits the most clutch shot he possibly could have. Piggles just, ever so slightly not keen on maybe making sure that there wouldn't be a sniper or something. Just like that, turn the tides of the fight. That could have been disastrous for Virtus if it was not for that clutch little shot there. And now they're right back in it. They have full ad, taking it into mid as well. As long as they don't make major mistakes again, aka letting Kuna just run off on his own. Somebody's got to ring that man in. Just put a leash on that guy. Keep him close to you. And then you might actually have a chance of taking this into second and maybe even last. Although, that would be ambitious if you don't get another kill onto Pickles here, which I doubt MANDEM are just going to let happen for free.
Let's see, they're going to test the lock. They're going in, all on the beam. I mean, the leash is there, but he's still going forward all the way here, seeing what they can get. And it's not much in the end. MANDEM's position's really good here. And Kuna, on the other hand, as it so happens to be, not so much today. Once again to dream big and dream he can. Plenty of time to rest right now before he's up again for the next fight. 10 seconds left on that man, but by that time, MANDEM's long on the second point already, and still with advantage to spare, mind you.
Yeah, they're going to be able to take this out for free if they... Well, not free, but they definitely have the opportunity to. Uber in deep here, Fancy trying to do the exact thing Kuna keeps doing, except this time he's in a good position because he meets up with his team. He's got a team backing him up when he does that, which Kuna never does. So even if they might lose this fight here, Pickles has to run for his life. Fancy a bit disconnected as well. They still find the frags they got. As Scar gets killed by being overextended. Kuna a bit too far forward as well. Olga having to try and run Gel out as best he can. Gel's so close to an Uber as well. If they can actually get this medic out on the side of Virtus, they have a chance to regress into mid. But they're just making mistakes after mistakes. They send in their Ubers. They have a Kuna going in way too deep.
It's like the most frustrating mistakes as well, because it feels like something that's like just insistence of players to do things a certain way right now, while they're already playing really well otherwise. It's like just frustrating to see from our perspective, I guess, but it's on them right now to see it themselves, fix it accordingly as well in time, so plenty of time left to go. And right now, they don't want to fix it the normal way. We want to fix this the advanced way, which is to hack onto the spike and sit on everyone's heads and feed them a saw. Oh no.
Oh my god, that was painful to watch. He was trying so hard to find Pickles' back and he just could not find it, no matter what he tried. Didn't even get the shots out with the gun either. Very unfortunate. That means Ubers are equal, and Scar being down for the count means the flank's a bit left unattended. High trying to fight off Kane as best he can while the Uber exchange is underway. Naturally, not much happens while everybody's invincible, but in the post positioning, a bit more flashing out of Gel might be a bad thing here, and the nuke comes in! Just the coordinated aggression by Hans, Polder, and Inzo just destroys the entire team. The cleanup is there with KN from behind as well. This, surely, is where they convert around finally on the side of MANDEM after almost half the map timer. And there you go. Finally, it's 0-1.
Yeah, that was really well done. Like you said, there wasn't much happening in the combos as well. They were staring each other down, but the flank very active. Like push the other kind of flank back with their own soldier, and as their own soldier goes weak on MANDEM, they just trade places with the scout, goes behind and pops up perfectly after the Uber. The only one that could have stopped it was the soldier on 10 HP, waiting exactly 9 seconds for the pack to spawn. After which point, the man already got brushed by the scout that he couldn't stop anymore. Unfortunate timing by Brah all around, but again, if they are this close to making their chances work and then fail on the line, there might still be hope for this.
There's certainly still hope. There's a lot of time for them to try and recover from their mistakes here and find their way back into it. Maybe stop sending Kuna in very, very deep as a spearhead every single time. And who knows, maybe things can happen. As so far, this mid is extraordinarily stale. Nobody really wants to do anything. Bold is going to grab that first frag onto Fishcup. Finally, a soldier getting traded out here, but it's going to be responded with on Hans on the other side. Scar going in deep as well, almost hitting a nice rocket onto Pickles, but Pickles serves it just beautifully, and off the back of that, Virtus are in no position to really fight anymore. Kane on the flank as well, just cutting off the team, gets the kill at the Kuna, but has the force out of Gel as well. Pickles doesn't even have it, but he's not going to have to use either. There's no way High can chase this. Surely they're not going to let him. He's going to try his best. He's doing a great job, but there's only so much you can do against a fully overhealed scout and a demo backing him up as well. So it's going to be a 1 mid for MANDEM, but it wasn't as free or clean as they could have wanted it to be.
However, it's still good enough from here, right? Advantage going forward all the way towards the second point. If you get this one without too much consequence, then the last point's looking like easy pickings from there. And it looks like whatever the resistance is here, it's not going to be enough to stop the cap. Unless they're really thinking about doing something more. But if you just lose people here, it doesn't matter. At the end, you're just going to be people down on Uber that they would have used to kill you anyway, so you're really just stopping them from taking a little bit of ground here, and that matters much more now that the push comes in, and with Kane down, that's one less person to worry about whatsoever taking any space at all. High ground still all blue, the bombs are coming through finally, but Hans is getting shot into the floor immediately by that as well. Really good position by the blue soldiers, keeping themselves nice and safe doing most of this. And now it's Virtus Brah time again to bring this one back.
Yeah, MANDEM Ubering very early there, probably scared of the sniper. Olga was on sniper, to be fair, so they didn't want the same thing happening again. But a very early Uber didn't allow them to get much ground, though, and then they just got shellacked.
Just too nice with it. No way! 2 taps to medic around the corner, dude. How do you even see that coming? That could happen literally any time ever.
He just turns the corner and he's in your face. That's so unfortunate. Because I was gonna go off like they have a great opportunity now to come back into this, but nah. They just let that happen. They let Inza get away with it as well, and Scar dying obviously doesn't make it any easier. Olga on 3 HP, just barely managing to escape into last as well now. Even if they're not going to put down any cap time on MANDEM so far, they have all the time in the world. With that big Uber ad waiting in the ranks, they have another opportunity to try and take this in. Olga back on the sniper again as well, just to see if he can catch off Pickles again. Let's see if they make the same mistake again, or if they pop at the exact right time this time around. Instead of...
looks like nothing comes of it this time around. Yep,
they did early.
They're able to get through here just fine, force everyone back with the cap time.
Yeah, that's what they gotta play, but there's sticks on the point. Finally, they get popped, but they didn't even find the one person on the point. Just barely kills Inzo, and then Hans just jumps on the point to finish that last little pixel of the cap off. So it worked out. The positioning, they just force all of Virtus back into spawn, and that's all it took.
And now you have to be worried, right? So many times, we all have seen a game that was like close for 15 minutes, and then the second round happens to be so quick after the first one, and so often there's just no coming back from that. It's just over from here. We'll see if the breaking point has been reached, or if Virtus Brah still has the drive to bring this map back. These points are important. It's only 2 weeks in, but no one's gotten points of MANDEM yet. Being able to get that now is huge.
Yeah, being the team that gets them off of them, that's a beautiful start. Scar with a beautiful bomb into Pickles takes care of him. Kane and Hans down as well. They find a couple of frags onto the other side. Gel crucially goes down. It's only Scouts versus Scouts with Fishcup as a kicker, but it is going to be a dub for the Scouts on the side of MANDEM here. Fishcup, the only one left alive. Will he be able to fight off both of these guys? That is a very ambitious play to do indeed. He was in no position to do it. So it is going to be a 1 mid for MANDEM, but just barely scraping by with that one. There is certainly re-aggression possible for the side of Virtus here as well. With Pickles dying, Gel being able to build at the same rate, it's not going to be a foregone conclusion whatsoever.
It feels like not so long ago that Boulder was still terrorizing mid and just gets like 3rd place every season. Oh, sorry, actually 7th place every season, never mind. It happened like 3 or 4 times actually. It's too often anyway. Finally, he can just fully unleash with a team that's maybe just as good as he is as well, and Terra's Premiership as well. Looks like it's gonna go well here on this play right now, so trying to take early space towards the second point, and with the kills they're getting here as well, it's not just getting yard actually, it's going all the way.
Yeah, they're taking this as far as they possibly can. They I mean, finding the frags certainly helps them as well. Even if the Ubers are equal here, they're going to be in such an advantage position taking this into last immediately. They know they don't even have to worry about the sniper rider. They can take as much ground, go as deep as they want. Gel does get his Uber first, and Pickles is still building. He still has to be very careful here, but he's going to get it just in time. Nobody gets dropped out of it either. They actually found Scar. He was not part of the Uber, and now that he has faded on the side of Virtus, it's already so over for them as MANDEM just clean up everybody else. And managed to grab themselves another round. Now, with 11 minutes left.
It's Jover.
It's very much Jover.
I don't want to be a hater here, but I've seen these games too much. I don't care how close it was for the first 15 minutes. I see these 3 rounds, it's over. You're not coming back from that. We had statistics on this. I don't know what the numbers are looking like right now. We need to ask Plum at some point. But people coming back from even 2-0 in Premiership is rare. 3-0, I mean, that's a whole different story.
Not to mention the ball has gone rolling on MANDEM. They've got so much momentum now. Even if they wanted to slow down the game again, like bring it to a grinding halt, it's gonna be so tough for Virtus. They need another wonderful mid out of Virtus, but Pickles does such a good job. It's just surfing away all the rockets being shot at him while cleaning up everybody. Everybody else just cleans up everybody on Virtus. There you go, Gel taking care of its only Kuna and Scar, and well, the former is in no position to do anything. Scar tries to maybe get a bomb in on Pickles, but can't do much beyond a little bit of damage. And there you go, another wipe out of Virtus means another 1 mid for MANDEM, and honestly, probably another 1 round.
Yeah, that was just all focus for it too. They had the damage on people, but they just weren't playing into each other's damage well enough now about this Brah to actually clean up anything at all. And MANDEM now, once again, with prime time to get to the last Olga on Sniper, high on Engineer. We have the off-classes to save the day, potentially, but it hasn't stopped MANDEM much the last few rounds, so why would this change now?
They're trying to go left side again as well, from the pusher's side here anyway for MANDEM. They know that that's probably a bit safer to be with the sniper on the other side, and they're gonna send it in early once more, just try and get as much ground as they can, pressure everybody back into the spawn, and hopefully not get caught by any Virtus reinforcements coming. They're not getting that much early tech cap time this time around. Finally, the stickies are cleared off the point, and they find a couple of frags on either side, but it looks like it's actually falling in the favor of Virtus here. Pickles disconnected from Fancy means Fancy's probably going to be a sitting duck here, unless he can hold his own against Olga, which he's doing a decent job at, but ultimately will not succeed in. And Inzo just kind of stays behind, trying to maybe grab a frag onto Gel, almost gets it, but doesn't quite. Pickles manages to just barely escape with his life, and he, well, if he wasn't careful enough, he could have gotten chased as well, but he will meet up with his team. Will preserve whatever little Uber percentage he had, but it is going to be an ad for the side of Virtus, and they gotta keep this rolling. This ball's gotta go downhill fast if they want to have a chance of coming back into this map.
Let's see if MANDEM will be stopping them dead in their tracks, or going to be more like bowling pins right here. They need to do what they can, but the force does not happen that easily. There's just a couple soldiers trying to sneak their way in here, but no one finds the angle on the medic. Fancy late to leave as well. Eats a sticky late, serves that one away. Is that enough? Are they following up? They are finding him. Okay, they're not giving up on that. They knew the damage here very well. That's really good. Even if Pickles gets now, the actually worse situation would just get worse if players down, and Horns is still weak as well. So gotta fall back, heal up. This is gonna be guard just from the demo kill alone, and maybe even more than that. Pickles just doesn't quite have yet, and they're keen on getting more. Maybe a bit too much as well. Inso on the flank cleans up fish early, and they do use a little bit earlier than they would like as well.
Yeah, they really wanted to see if they can get Pickles in time, but they just couldn't quite get it. Pickles gets his Uber ready, and it's gonna be better. And just off the back of that, they're fighting so many frags. Olga manages to keep his medic alive for the time being once more, but they gotta hightail it out of there if they want to have any sort of chance. And actually, he manages to pick up Inzo. It's a bit extended. Yeah, the arrow's keeping them alive as well. All right, they're still in this. There's actually still a chance here. Never mind. Olga's single-handedly keeping this, these chances alive for his team right now. Seeing if they can actually
almost
make
a sticky jump with 45 health. This man needs to be stopped.
He's a loose frickin' cannon. That man is... Something is wrong with him. Somebody's gotta get this guy,
some might
like,
say he's a lock
checked out.
Really.
Yeah, maybe. I guess that's...
Not today though, unfortunately.
To be fair,
well,
he's on Iron Bomber.
I guess it's for the best of all of us, actually.
He is on Iron Bomber.
I mean, what else would you do? Stock pipes? I don't think so. This man has never used stock pipes in his life.
Doesn't even know what they look like. I don't know how they work. Anyway.
What is that? Stock pipe? I mean, the lock and load?
Exactly.
Alright, let's see.
Yeah, how's this gonna go? This is gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's still not easy at all. No, the flank's just walking over them the entire time.
No.
Dude, the red flank has just been playing this damage so much better this entire game.
Yeah. Oh, they find Scar as well. Oh my god, it's a disaster. It's a disaster. It's only Kuna and Gel. They're just trying to escape with their lives. Gel doing the best he can to dodge. Kuna just kind of trying to hold back these players as much as he can, but he's going to get forced out effectively just to be kept alive here. and it's a disaster. The flank
what
is
it is?
so much better on MANDEM.
Virtus Brah is just too complacent in situations like this. And that same thing holds true with like Kuna just going feeding and stuff like that. Where they just think, yeah, it's gonna be fine every time, and then it's not because of various reasons at that point. And again, the flank on that whole just thinks, yeah, we can just like sit here and, I mean, what are they gonna do? Push out, and then there's actually just 2 people running at you. When suddenly you're just not ready for it.
Yeah, they get screwed over by that flank every single time. MANDEM doing so much of a better job with the flank right now, and it's worked out in every single fight. It's working out right now again. They're down 2 players to make that 3 on the side of Virtus. They're already on second. Hans is just chasing this as far as he can. Nobody on Virtus even wants to contest anymore. They respect it too much at this point. And well, if they're lucky, they might get an Uber in time, but they're gonna have to go up against such a player advantage as well. The respawn is just barely gonna be arriving in time. Finally, the Uber gets popped up on the side of MANDEM. Still nowhere near for the side of Gel. He doesn't even have anybody to heal. Nobody's there to protect the point either. They're trading out players left and right, and it is a bit better in terms of numbers, I suppose, for MANDEM for the time being, as Fancy just gets tanked by arrows for so long, finally taken down. And that was the last bastion they had on this last push, but still, just with them having this much aggression here, this much presence, with 5 minutes left, it is virtually impossible for Virtus to come back into this.
We'll see. They still have a tiny chance, and they gotta take it. And this is the rough part now as well, because you are now forced to make situations happen that really shouldn't work out most times, where it's so easy for the opponent to just like force out the mistakes. So if MANDEM just plays smart and a little bit more reserved, just sees what Virtus Brah is doing and reacts to it accordingly, they should win this game 90% of the time now. This is all Virtus Brah to just play perfect.
They have to not just whip out incredible plays, they have to pull them off flawlessly in order to have a chance. Scar sending himself deep, trying to make some ground, is not going to help with that if he does die. Meanwhile, Olga and Gel have gone behind somehow. They have flanked with the combo, and Gel didn't even use yet. He somehow hangs onto his Uber this entire time. He's going to now meet the rest of the team with Olga, and they're going to have to use if they want to make anything happen here. That being said, Olga has to hit the most craziest meat shots of his life, and unfortunately, Pickles had an Uber to respond with, so Olga just gets cleaned up.
I am very confused. Guna went back to second to take a pack before the exchange happens, and I don't know why. That was very strange.
Like some sort of disconnect there going on, I feel. It's
maybe it's a language
strange.
barrier striking.
I don't know. I mean, Olga seems to probably be doing the main call. I would be surprised if that's what he's doing, so I don't know. I don't know what's happening, but I guess if you're Virtus at this point, you've kind of given up on this map. It's not happening anymore. 4 minutes left, 3 rounds.
Might be over.
It's almost mathematically over at this point as well. You can't even huff copium at that point, and Kane in the backlines as well, causing a bit of havoc here. Just putting down the casual, insane amount of damage on the combo, managing to clean up Olga, and then with help of Boulder Gel as well. There goes Kona. Gets Minecrafted. Unbelievable. Scar trying to block the point, maybe get something down. Nope, doesn't even happen.
There's gotta be some other famous like mine pickaxe in the world other than Minecraft, surely.
I don't know, man. It's certainly the most iconic.
I guess.
It's hard to argue with that one. But yeah, there you go. Another round, another game secured for MANDEM here. I mean, I'm saying that as if it's a foregone conclusion. They are struggling right now to find a lot of frags, but they're slowly getting there.
Taking its time.
Yeah, they're taking their sweet time. It's a buffet. They're doing an all-you-can-eat. They got all the time in the world. They finally make it 0-4.
One thing for sure, a final scoreline here will not like put enough credit to Virtus Brah's performance. They played this very well for a very long time. But again, in the end, it really so much of it just came down to just them being the worst enemies, and it just hurts to see a team this good like fall apart to that of all things.
Yeah, just like the small mistakes out of Virtus adding up, and then MANDEM being able to snowball
over and over again each time as well. And that's
snowball off the back of them. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame for Virtus, really. But we do have another map, so it could all change. It could all completely change on Metalworks.
Right? You beat Witness on this map. Surely you're the one that picks this, right?
Yeah, of course. This is MANDEM's map. Naturally, they know it's their turf now, and well, for all we might know, maybe going forward in the next weeks, this is a map that everybody bans against MANDEM if they get the choice to. It certainly seems to be going well for them right now. Even this mid-fight with everybody but Boulder and Pickles dead. Crucially, Pickles stays alive, so even if this were to go into an attritional war, they would still have a great chance. Pickles is just going to Uber and have full faith in Boulder here to try and take care of as many people as he can and do as much stalling as they can, because that's all they got to do for garbage time.
Yeah, there you go. You know, it's just heartwarming to see. Like, Boulder's been on teams in the past a lot, actually, with Nasboy. For people that might obviously wait to jump to Prem quite a bit sooner than him, but nice to see that he can live up to that sort of expectations of his former teammates, you know?
Yeah, people have been saying this for
The good
years
ending.
that Balder is an absolute menace. We saw a bit of it last season with the Swedish team, right? He was always the menace on that team. Everybody was trying to focus him down as best as they could. Naturally, the results weren't there for the team at the end of the day, but now with a team that maybe plays with him a little bit better, plays to his strengths a little bit more as well, man's just he's going off. He's having the time of his life, and finally gets to show what talent he actually holds. As Kuna is once more on a journey. I don't know what the hell my man's doing, but he's on the flank.
Okay?
Flank demo.
He's trying. Unconventional playstyle, but you know, it's called. Okay, never mind. I was about to say gets them this far, but A, he died, and B, they won one map so far.
Well, I honestly don't even want to see the logs at the end of it, but I feel like Kuna's deaths are gonna be something to behold.
Oh, I'm first in the scoreboard right now. I don't want to see the logs on Fishkoff's behalf right now.
Bro's having a horrible game, but I guess that's what happens when you go up against Inzo Boulder on the scouts.
Yeah, that's just. What do you do?
Like, it's Inzo Boulder. Like, you're kind
We
of
learned a
screwed at that
second ago.
point.
Inzo just looks at you and you just die.
Yeah, it's a tough combo. It's a tough fight. They might actually take this to full-on 5-0 at this point. It certainly looks like that's what they're going to
That's
be
mean.
doing.
I don't think admin should allow them to get another round just because it's not nice.
Too bad. It happened. With 15 seconds
Admins
left,
retract 1 point from this immediately. This is bullying. But this fraud did not that bad. Oh, but 5-4 is in the end. Either way, it's 3 points for sure, no matter what the scoreline says at the end.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I want to look at the logs. Hold on. What do we got?
So yeah, I mean, entertaining game if nothing else.
Yeah.
There's always the threat of a 5-4 ending a lot worse of a viewing experience than this. This is two teams really having to fight for these rounds at the end of the day, which you love to see, I suppose. I may remind everyone as well that's here. There is obviously a TFTV1 game going on. You just removed the number 2 from your browser URL and you're already there. That is TLR against Swift. I don't know what the situation was there, but I did look at a Twitch chat comment, and that game was certified, described as this has to be a lobby. So that sounds like a banger right there on TFTV1 as well. So,
oh boy.
You know, make sure you have the second tab on already.
Yeah, so Balder and Inzo got more than half their team's kills.
I mean, you know, sometimes, you know, yeah, you know this.
That's just how things go sometimes. Like, this isn't even a scout map, which is, that's the sad part, I think. But it shows. Yeah, it was just a bit of a dominant team for the second half. Like, if we only had logs for the first half, for the first round, this would probably look a lot closer. But because MANDEM just started running away with it, they got their warm-up in those first 13 minutes of that first round, and then just started running away with it. It shows. They just kind of curb stomped Virtus after that.
And people say this is a soldier map.
Yeah, evidently
they have
not.
The audacity to say these things when we see this these performances like consistently, mind you, as well, not just these guys, but also especially these guys.
How does Kuna have 28% heals? Bro wasn't even with his medic for half the map. How is that possible?
That is efficient healing once he's on the beam, and then he's just going with full buff every time.
How is this? I don't even know how that happens, man. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. But, well, I guess he didn't die as much as I expected him to at the end of the day, so maybe we just see him go for the crazy plays every once in a while. It completely backfires, and then we point it out because that's what we do. And then the rest, like 80% of the match, when he's not doing that, he's actually just playing normally as like a solid demo as he should, and he was.
You know what it is? This is his Joker arc. The lock and load got banned, and Kuna has just gone full mask off at this point. He's just this just changed him as a person. This is the monster we created. Much like how lock and load is the monster we created when we nerfed the Iron Bomber. This is the direct result of this as well now. It's just a spiral into madness.
Yeah. Next thing you know, they're gonna ban the Iron Bomber as well. Oh no! What's he gonna start using? Loose cannon? Oh god!
Oh, he's just gonna go direct to soldier at that point.
They're gonna run Perma Sniper. Olga to Perma Sniper.
Well, that could have been worse, I guess, to that. I mean, at that point, Olga goes pyro, really.
I guess, yeah. If they're going that wacky.
Like, what's next,
Anyway.
It might still happen. Also,
possible.
You know, I guess the performance we should not neglect to mention here as well. It is just from debut, a man that has, I don't think technically ever played a full season, has been very on and off, has played like 2-3 seasons here and there, but very like inactive overall in like the relative scheme of things. But he's always like been around and been on people's radar. But I think his most recent big success that probably really made people see the name more than anything, where I think most general audiences watching probably not really aware of this guy, Ukrainian player by the way, is that he won the Altiduo Cup ETF2L hosted, which a lot of people sign up for, including everyone's resident champions of anything Altiduo B-Ball related. So that is a pretty big win. Him and Manic, actually, who's still languishing in Div 2, I think, right now. But also doing pretty well for himself, I would think, at the moment. So, yeah, put them on the map a little bit here. I mean, if he beats Thinking and Viz and Altiduo, that's kind of a big deal, I would say.
Yeah, fostering this young talent, and what do you know, Jill showing up. I mean, he's hanging with the other paramedics. He's not being a slouch at all. He's not in any way being able to be singled out as like a weak player.
You can tell it's an Altiduo medic because he hit the arrows, but not on his teammate, on the opponents. He was doing damage that last map.
Yeah, it shows. It shows. Terrifying. But he's been doing a wonderful job. Definitely not the weak link, if anything at all here. And as we're headed into Metalworks, plays differently, obviously.
Yes,
map,
everyone's beautiful dystopian nightmare of industrial landscape.
They didn't end up going with the ProWorks version, did they, huh?
Oh, straight Metalworks.
The one with the extra door out of lobby and the brighter skybox.
Dude, I love bringing up the extra door whenever I see a medic get stuck in that corner and die.
It is quite funny. It
really is, yeah. I don't know, I can see, it's like sizable changes. The one extra door on like alleyway as well. It just really changes how you approach things, so it's like not as simple a change as some of the other versions we had of other maps.
Definitely. So, how is this going to look for Virtus? Do you think they're going to find a way back into this? Are they going to just stop the bleed and find a way?
There's two wolves inside you.
Right.
One sees what happens last map and decides, okay, we just do whatever we did just now, but we dial it back like 10% in certain moments, and it's going to be fine. And then you have the second wolf inside of you, who just said, fuck it, we ball, and then just gonna press W even more.
I hope to see the latter, honestly, because that sounds a lot more fun. But I guess if they want success, the former is probably
Oh no, they changed colors as well. Oh no.
Oh boy, that's not going to be confusing at all. The fact that they changed sides, I love when that happens. Anyway, the first mid is underway, and these teams are going to try to see who can get that first little mid win on Metalworks. As the soldiers go high, pirouetting around, Inzo is going to be the first to fall, actually. Trade out for Kuna on the other side, though, which is a pretty good frag to get if you're doing a mid-fight, getting that demo down. Gel very low as well, just narrowly escaping with his life here. As Scar gets taken care of, you still have High and Fishcuff behind on the mid, trying to fight off these remaining players from MANDEM, while the rest are chasing their combo, and they get taken care of. There goes Gel as well. KN's so good on that chase. Takes care of everything, but never mind. I was gonna say maybe High can do something, but it's not gonna happen. It's only Fishcuff and Kuna, and, well, Kuna's just spawned, so Fishcuff is behind, trying to do whatever the best he can, and, well, he's not been having a good night so far, so either this is where he turns it around or he goes full Joker mode and just, uninstalls the game after this match. I guess
think they're all going full Joker mode right now, to be honest.
Yeah, probably. It's possible.
Well, you also that Scout just waiting for 1 point. It's not happening. Yeah. GG, you tried. Better luck next time. Well, he's got to be back with the last hold in approximately 20 seconds, so...
Yeah, which is probably not going to be enough time.
Last hold by then. You never know.
Yeah, it's going to be tough considering there's already a push in by MANDEM as they just cap off second. They already got so much cap time as well. The Uber is just going to make sure Boulder doesn't die for the time being, but with so much cap time and these players just getting picked off one by one outside of Virtus, it's a quick one. Less than 2 minutes, and we're already up 1 round for MANDEM.
Yeah, much different start to this one here, and as I described earlier, the good old theory of breaking points being reached might still hold true. Because we might still be well beyond that point right now. The recovery.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Virtus Brah can still dial this one back around somehow.
They just need to somehow overcome any form of tilt or whatever they're encountering if they want to have a chance at coming back into this. We'll see how this next mid goes for them. The last one wasn't by any means a pure disaster. They did hang on for a while. We'll see how well this one goes now. Hans with a deep bomb in, but on the other side, Olga and Fishcuff are already grabbing some kills here with KN and Hans going down. No soldiers to worry about, which is quite a dangerous duo to have to deal with. Fancy getting taken care of as well. All right, they found themselves a bit just like that.
It's Jova.
Would you look at that? It worked out.
I have seen many games, and this sure is one of them. Let's just put it that way. No, let's
you
see, though. Let's give them another shot here and see if they can still bring us back. And they do have Uber on last. So very much audible for the side of MANDEM. After all, they've been winning these, right?
Yeah, they should be able to do this. It's gonna be on Virtus to see if they can actually convert some once. I think this is the furthest forward they've ever found themselves in this entire matchup tonight. I don't think they ever took second on Granary. I don't remember.
Actually, no, never mind. They were on second, but they didn't cap it, I think. Never mind, you're actually right.
Yeah, I don't think they ever got this far tonight.
What do we do now?
They don't even know what it's like to try and push last. Oh gosh, well, this is your chance.
That was the one time one demo man once bombed into last and it worked, so maybe we do that as well.
Well, Fishcup tried to do just that and gets completely mowed down by Boulder on the heavy. Kuna finds a kill onto Honsto on the flip side, so Soldiers just traded out. Means there's more last push attempts gonna be coming out of Virtus eventually. The heavy on Boulder as well, not the heavy, the sniper on Boulder as well. Kind of dangerous though. You gotta deal with that as well now. He's just shutting down the entire left side here. Maybe you want to rotate over. And it might... No, that's what they're doing. They're just going. Kuna sends himself into the skybox. Doesn't even need the sentry to do that for him. Enzo just guns him down when he's stuck behind. The sentry didn't even get taken care of, and it's only level 2. Yeah, I would say that probably backfired a little bit. Just a tad.
Well, we now know which wolf we're dealing with.
Yeah,
if nothing else.
It's definitely the latter one. It's
That's
the
sad.
ball.
Nice arrows by Gel kept the scouts alive the entire time. High for not much longer, and they do want to like kind of re-go in here, but like they lost one instantly, and Fish just gets stuck on Bogart as well. So this is over before it really started.
Yeah, it's not looking good. If anything at all for Virtus trying to hang on to that second point. Matter of fact, it might not even look good for them trying to hang on to mid at this point. They're kind of not in a great position to fight. They're still very aggressive with their positioning, even though they really shouldn't be. I mean, Ubers are equal, but at the end of the day, a little bit of extra aggression out of MANDEM there could have really caught some players off guard that were kind of disconnected from the heals. That being said, Gel did actually build a bit faster. They have Uber right now. If they can go insanely fast, they could catch Pickles. That's not going to happen though, because Hans is just going to delay this push and almost get a kill that he could have wanted. Unfortunately, he doesn't land the rockets, and it's going to be for nothing, but with Uber's now equal, it's going to probably devolve into a bit of a stalemate even with one soldier dead on the defending side. It's not going to matter that much. They might send in a Scar to see if he can prod a little bit. Actually, they're being very aggressive with the entire combo. Quite ambitious out of Virtus. If their flank can be there to back them up with this, that could certainly work. The Uber comes in. It's going to be better ever so slightly for Pilos, but he does have to flash a bit as well. So they're going to fade it around the same time. But Olga gets stuck, disconnected. Scar's going to try to bomb in now for follow-up. Never mind, he decided against it, seeing all those players poised looking at him. And just like that, Virtus are out. Because with Kuna going down as well towards the tail end of that, they are in no position to try and hold anymore.
Dude, this is so rough, because like this happens in like other games as well, when you're watching like people that are just like a little bit better than other people is, that it just looks like they're playing faster, you know? Like this Uber comes in and ends off at the same time, and then by the time they're falling back with their Uber a little bit on one side, MANDEM is just already killed people.
Yeah, they just have like the follow-up so much sooner. And it's working out well for them. Kuna gets skybox, just barely lives with a little bit of lag switching, but it doesn't matter because Fancy cleans it up anyway. High gets taken care of as well, and they're just keeping this train rolling forward on the side of MANDEM. They got better Uber as well, despite the fact that they faded it around the same time. Gel just didn't have anybody to heal because everybody keeps dying. And there it is, the Uber out of MANDEM. They just take care of Olga. Gel is basically back in spawn, trying to keep his last 2 soldiers alive however he can. But with the cap time coming down as well, Sticky's on the point already. It's only a matter of time till MANDEM wins this war of attrition. There are some respawners, but Gel dies at 97%. Does not get to have that Uber ready.
Oh, never mind, wait a second.
What?
Was activated.
Okay. Bro went for the best flank ever known to man, and suddenly it's over for MANDEM. Okay. Alright, fair enough.
A little more of that, and then we might have a game here. Let's see if they can keep this one up from here. Not bad, not bad. Unfortunately, Gel died, and they're picking up crits from here, so again, we know which wolf we're dealing with at this point. The mask is off. Welcome to the dream face reveal no one asked for. This is gonna be just, like, sketchy gameplay from here, I think.
Yeah, well, they're already losing players. Just way too ambitious once more outside of Virtus. Olga's probably stuck as well. Is going to get cleaned up by the scouts here. Unless he manages to pull off a miracle. Alright, finds the kill onto Boulder. At the very least, he trades out for that one. And Kane obviously died in the early sacks, so they can't just move off of this immediately. Plus, the Ubers are still equal. So unless MANDEM are very ambitious with their dry pushes here, we're probably looking at another stalemate on last. But you're going to have to stabilize somehow on the side of Virtus. They're going to have to somehow find a way back into this match. They're just bleeding slowly but surely, dying out right now.
Let's see if this
yellow
crit squid can do anything then that they've been building the entire time. The problem is, this was supposed to be advantage crits at, like, after the both meds spawn here, but that's just not true anymore. It's just taking too long, they don't have crits first, and at this point, it's not... Well, okay, Fancy walks right into it, so never mind.
Fancy just walks into it as the flanking players, with the Uber, matter of fact, come from behind Boulder, and Pickles just kind of decide, let's go on the point, and then clean up all these players as they hold S into us, and that's exactly what they're doing. Incredible.
It's never been easier. They just turn around to back up, and you just shoot all their backs.
Yep. That's unbelievable. That's how easy it is. Oh, you see the crits coming in? Okay, drop your demo as like a sacrificial lamb, and then just take your Uber in all the way to last to flank them. Not the play you want to see if you're a Virtus Brah fan, but at the end of the day, it's only been 9 minutes. There's still plenty of time. They can find their way back into this.
There's plenty of opportunities for this to happen 3 more times.
Copium? I'm sure they'll find their way.
Let's see. Surely we have a plan for a bit, but here, what's it gonna be? Scar right in there. Immediately wants to just dial back, help his team out against this double bomb, but just too late by that point already. KN is right on top of them, and no one stopping it.
That was a massacre. They walk through the doors into mid, and they all die instantly. It's a damn nightmare. It's a nightmare if you're Virtus Brah. Fishcup still alive behind. As he be, that kind of tends to be what he does, and well, he's got 2 people like kind of looking for him, left behind Haunts and Inzo. Neither of them know exactly where he is. They know he's behind, but they don't know where he is. And with him so far behind, he might just not even be in the fight for the last point, which is already happening, by the way. There's already an Uber out of Pickles, and it's already faded, for the matter of fact. And there's a little bit of cap time as well. They gotta win this post-Uber fight, though, with this positioning not really favoring them as much for Virtus, but they do have 2 players killed on the side of themselves, actually. Yeah, no, this is not going well for Virtus at all. Kane just flanks around, gets a 3k with 1 rocket, I'm pretty sure. That was like a 1 rocket, 3 kills type of deal, and there you go. No, not quite, but still.
Yeah, it took a while for the soldiers to rotate around the other side, actually get the bomb and the combo going, but once they had it, it just was quickly enough from there, get someone on point at the same time, where they're just having to choose between walking past your rockets to get to point, or, you know, falling back and leaving point besides, and in the end, sometimes you just die trying. This is one of those times. 3-0. This might not be the close 5-0 that map 1 has been. This might be over in a little bit from here.
Yeah, at this point I'd be happy to just see Virtus put a round on the board. Just as a consolation prize, so they have something. Could have a very fast rollout. Unfortunately, that leaves him completely vulnerable to everybody attacking him, and he's going to be the first to fall in this mid-fight. Scar goes in for a deep bomb, doesn't even manage to get a lick of damage onto Pickles. Pickles perfectly evading that, and the rest of the team, Fishcup, Gel, and Olga are already out, trying to stay alive as best they can as the chase comes in from MANDEM. Fishcup has to somehow keep his medic alive against an onslaught of MANDEM players trying to do the exact opposite, aka kill him and his medic. That being said, Yell did escape for the time being, but he doesn't have an Uber yet. Pickles already has one, and they're already on last with Fancy and Boulder as well. This is probably gonna be a war crime in the making. We're certainly looking at it right now as it's unfolding. Boulder trying his damnedest to kill Kuna, manages to get that kill, which means point is gonna be free for the taking if they take care of these soldiers as well, which at this point I don't doubt they'll be able to do for free. Because even if Yell has the Uber, they're just gonna somehow bait that out, and actually they're chasing deep within lobby as well. Alright, they found Boulder.
They still have to do this for the demo though, like the kills are nice, Fancy especially here right now, no sticks you have to walk through, it's just a bit of soldier spam that surely they're not gonna hang out too far forward, they're gonna bump in, maybe there it is coming through, nice stuff. By Gel, works out just fine, that's what playing a lot of Altido does to do, eventually you have to learn how to dodge these as well, but I don't think you have to look for soldiers sitting in the sky all too much, so maybe KN can still sneak something away.
He loves doing that wall bug, doesn't he? Well, Fishcup even turns around, he hears him jump, but he didn't know where from, and there you go, nice little jump, but Yell serves those just fine. Hangs onto that Uber ad, and well, they took 2 points off just the back of the ad they didn't even have to use yet, so Virtus, if there's a chance for them to come back, this is it. Now they have to deal with the even situation, though. They still have a player down on the side of MANDEM as well, something to maybe work with as long as their soldiers can accomplish something. Scar is taken care of, but Fishcup is in deep in lobby, manages to draw at least a little bit of attention. Boulder gets taken care of. Kuna is stuck in once more and will not get the arrows, and oh no! Inzo just walks in again. He just holds W and 2 shots Yell. Oh no.
That's such a Pickles thing to do. Just try to get the sword as well. You have 100 already, it doesn't even matter. Sometimes you just gotta do something to like this to feel something again in this match.
You gotta BM as much as you can, but
honestly, yes. Bring back fan players hating each other and not allowing any modes.
Oh, poor Scar. He thought he was cooking hiding in there, but Hans saw it coming, and there you go. He's not gonna do anything, and now Virtus are back on the back foot once more with a full disad, trying to somehow hold on to this point as Kuna was in forward spawn, maybe trying something cheeky, but that's not happening. They're just gonna be chilling on last, and honestly at this point try not to lose. Olga back on the ambitious sniper play, maybe they'll find a cheeky little pick with that, and no, it's not gonna happen. The Uber's been popped off, so once more, it's on MANDEM to convert it with so much cap time on the point already as well, forcing these Virtus players out. Olga is on his main, playing Pyro, everybody.
Uh-oh.
And this could be where turns are, never mind. He's off it. He's off it already. He's accomplished what he needed to. He got what he wanted, and they're back out of this. Okay, well, that actually was a good hold. It worked well for them.
It might be for real, but they've held this like a couple times by now.
Yeah.
Could have a long since over, if not otherwise. But holding last doesn't win you games, I'm afraid. It sure is important, but if that's all you do, then you probably are still losing the game because you just hold last all the time.
He's just losing slower. And, well, Enforce coming out of KN. Just getting a beautiful little jump in there.
Okay, now they might be losing fast again.
Yeah. They're not in a great position, that's for sure. Oh, Pickles eats a nice little bobble there. I suppose that was what you're looking for as a scout, but it's obviously not going to get any kills. And even if they cap mid now, they have to back off again so quickly. Like, Pickles is going to have Uber in a second, matter of fact. And there you go. There's no chance for Virtus to do much here. They have to somehow get an early force onto him. They have to make something happen.
Going behind instead, so that's
okay.
An approach, I suppose. We'll see if it's enough. But they're all going behind, actually.
Yeah, the entire team's just flanking. All right, it worked out. Not a single person, matter of fact, on Virtus really in any danger at all until that point when Gel just dies to
that captain is so bad doing any of this. There has never been times 2 and 1. Get Pickles, nice. Why is this working?
How is this working? It's only fancy, and it's a race to the last point, basically.
The devil on the shoulder has won today.
That Inzo's the only bastion here for the last hold, and I mean they've got a lot of health spread out here, but yeah, it actually worked. What the hell? Chaos. They revel in chaos, evidently. That's what they needed. Virtus just needed a little bit of sprinkle of chaos in here, and all of a sudden, we're so back.
Some men just want to see the world burn, and there we go. We're getting one. I mean, if we can get one, we can get two, and when we can get two, then there's no stopping us.
If they can pull that coast to coast, I'll believe anything. Anything can happen at that point. So let's see how this next little midfight goes. It certainly is looking promising. If you're a Virtus fan here, there is still very much a chance they can find a way back into this. There's still 15 minutes left almost, so anything can happen time-wise. They don't have to worry about that too much. Fishcup is going to be the first to fall, as the entire team of MANDEM are kind of just aggressively rotating around the enemy lobby and have basically zoned out Virtus with that alone. They just walked in. They just walked forward, and Virtus were like, ah, hell no, we're not dealing with that. And now they're eating it. They're having to pay with the consequences here as everybody just gets caught out high, managing to narrowly stay alive for a long time, but still dying anyway. And now Yell has to somehow live with the aggression from Hans, and KN as well has to pop there. Pretty much no choice but to. Olga tries to chase it as best as he can. Obviously the counter comes out of Pickles. Second isn't even capped yet, and they're already basically winning last on the side of MANDEM. So yeah, that was but a glimmer of hope in Virtus' eyes. Scar gets just shut down. Hai and Kuna trying to do their best here to try and shut down this point somehow, but it's just one after the other. Decent focus is all it takes, and there you go, 4-1 for MANDEM.
It's still never not funny to me that just rotating enemy side on like the big mid fights that we have in TF2 is just like the hottest meta change of this decade, basically. Like, you didn't see that stuff like last decade at all, and now it's just like, yeah, I guess we just go enemy side on like Metal and Granary sometimes, and mostly Process and Sunshine as well. It's just like, you just watch this mid fight and it just makes sense.
Yeah, you just cut off an entire escape route for anybody else from the side you're attacking, and there you go. They just forced them all back, and we'll see if this works again on this mid, or if finally Virtus find their way back into it.
It took so long for Red to like go anywhere now instead.
They're so scared. They respect it too much. They got the kill onto Pickles, now they just gotta keep Yell alive. If they manage to actually do that, they might find themselves in a position to actually convert around for once. It's a bunch of aggression onto them though. Kuna gets taken care of as well. It's only Olga, and he's gonna have to fight off 4 players, even with the beam. That's not gonna happen, and there you go. The counter aggression is there to clean up anything that remains of Virtus, and once more it's a 1 mid for MANDEM.
Looking good. They're up on the meta trends, rotating around. The 20s sure are wild times. Also, I guess we're living in the 20s. It's weird to say, to be honest, but
roaring 20s.
I can't wait for the Great Depression.
Oh boy, I think we're in it already. It's kind of undergoing.
Oh yeah, someone in this match.
Probably a lot of Virtus players, to be fair. Would not be surprised. Yeah, there's almost no chance. I mean, 12 minutes is plenty of time. You can totally convert 3 or even 4 rounds in that time, but you gotta start playing out of your minds if you're Virtus. Scar goes for another bomb, can't quite get anything done, just gets shut down. Hans on the counter side, basically trades out for high, and it's just so much aggression out of MANDEM. They're finding all the ground they want to. Olga left behind once more. Yell, can't really blame him. He's kind of just out there, just tries to keep himself alive more than anything, but unfortunately this also means that he's now left with Kuna, who is gonna have a tough time really biting off anything, and there you go. 5-1 for the side of MANDEM. Round it out quick. There you go.
Yeah, much stronger performance here. They just took all the momentum forward from the previous map. Is really what it all comes down to. There was no stopping them after it was 3-0 on the first map, and that just transferred right over to Metalworks. There was obviously still signs of life on Virtus Brah, that was nowhere near as good. This is the kind of game as well that we sometimes see with like the teams that finish at the top of the table, where it's like the way they play well will just make their opponents look bad. And by the time this match ended, Virtus Brah just looked like so much worse in comparison, just by how MANDEM outplayed them by the end. And it's just a tough look, and especially hard to recover from while it's happening. So tough luck for them here, but rest assured, season's far from over. And I mean, they still put up a fight as well, and they had close games up to this point so far as well. So with a schedule that still has 3 teams that are not Witness on the list left to see these guys playing against them, there's still a good chance to get a lot of points.
Yeah, if you're Virtus here, this is obviously not doom and gloom. You just lost to one of the best teams in the season. It happens.
I mean,
if you let that get to you,
they're the best right now.
Yeah, I mean, literally, they're the best right now by like sheer stats and what we've shown so far. Right, they're gonna be top of the table probably. Maybe tight with Witness if they don't drop.
I mean, they win
points,
one more match, they're like in playoffs. I think is how this works.
Yeah, probably. So
like already, so that's already huge. No matter what, even if they somehow like giga choke from here.
Yeah, you can't let yourself get beat up over that, right? If you lost to simply a better team, that's what happens. That's how it be, unfortunately. But that being said, anybody else is pretty much still in contention. Virtus, as you said, still have a bunch of arguably easier matches ahead of them, right? They have a bunch of matches ahead of them that are going to be much easier than this, besides Witness. So there's certainly a chance that they can find a way back. Like, who's next?
Speaking of Witness, what have those guys been doing today? 25-minute 5-0? Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, they're back.
30-minute 5-0. Okay, well, never mind.
They're back on form, evidently.
Very much so. Ixie got more kills than there was minutes in Sunshine.
That's actually
that's messed up.
That's actually
Thomas
quite
did
impressive.
The same on Process as well, and that game was only 25 minutes. That shit's not okay.
Well,
however, Hexray outscored everyone else on this map. So go Hexray, take out one. Let's go. So yeah, this is I guess the more unsurprising results today. This was the 2 top dogs we just been talking about, and watching one of them here as well. So to speak, punch down. I guess they very much hoped to win this, and I was a little bit of worried at the beginning for MANDEM, but they found the footing pretty quick in the end.
Yeah, they took a bit to warm up. That first round was a bit shaky. Maybe their warm-up scrims didn't go as well or something like that. Maybe they didn't have as much time. Who knows? But once they got warmed up, they just started running away with it. They showed us that they are indeed a top contender team. They are trying to win this season, and they're putting up the fight for it, without a doubt.
But that's not the last game to be going right now. I think we have a pause in our last game of the night going right now, which would be TLR Swift, and I carefully selected to say that's probably the game for TFT1 tonight, because all of their games for both of these teams have just been Clown Fiesta so far. Like, they played 4 maps, every single one was a Clown Fiesta. This one notwithstanding, apparently Swift took it map 1 with a last-second clutch, which sets a new low for the flick era of TF2, I guess, but it's not over yet. They're still in the middle of map 1, so I guess we'll just throw you over there real quick.